Well, Matt, it's been over a month since the season's finished. We had a chance to catch up. Hope we've all had a break. Hope you had a good couple of weeks break. But I know it's been a busy time for you, even having been away. Just before we get on to what's been going on during the summer, we should just finally reflect on last season. At the end of it, were you pleased where we finished based on how we started, or were you disappointed given that at one point we were very close to the playoffs?
No, overall, when you sit back and you reflect on the 46 league game season, you certainly, after the start that we had and the injuries we had in that first half of the season, I think if you'd offer me the points tally and where we'd finish sort of mid-November, I'd have bitten your hand off, because everyone kept telling me about the second season syndrome and how tough the second season is for promoted sides. And it is, and I can see what they say. I don't overly believe in it, but when you compound things with the amount of injuries that we had to go through to big and key players in that first half of the season, to keep digging in and grinding out results and keep putting points on the board was firstly a great achievement from us all. But then to go on an unbelievable run of 3 defeats in 21 and really put ourselves suddenly from nowhere into the playoff mix, and going to the Easter weekend, I think it was 4 points off the playoffs. We were right in the frame. And really back to ourselves and weathered the storm and with the injuries. But the Easter weekend was disappointing for us. A narrow, tight game that went the wrong way against us, against Stockport at home, and then the defeat up at Bradford. 2 really tough games, 2 top sides. But both results didn't go for us. And it was just a shame. Say it's a shame, and it is a shame, of course, that the season fizzled out for us and some disappointing results there to finish our season off. But certainly in hindsight, I think it's really helped me, and I think it's really helped me look at the situation of where I'm at as a manager and where we're at as a club, and it's really given me time to reflect and analyse a lot of things during that period, which is I know probably leading into some of your questions here, but is now made me and got me into a position where I feel I really want to freshen things up. And I want this to be a new start, really, for me building another squad, if you like, because you look at the likes of Alex Ferguson, who's, I think he won 13 league titles for Man United, and he certainly didn't win them all with the same squad, and he didn't have success with all the same squad. Yes, there was key players who continually went through those squads, the Gary Nevilles, the Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, etc., who were one club men. But Bruce and Pallister won his first titles, Jaap Snams, Rio Ferdinand, Vidić's. There was many players that he constantly turned over and rebuilt. And I'm probably feeling, after 4 years as a manager now, that I'm in a position now that I want to really freshen things up. And I'll come on to what that is in a minute, but freshen things up, both on and off the pitch, to continually, like we have done since I've become manager, and in improving and driving this club forward. And that's the summer I've been working on so far, Tony.
So, having answered the question I had written down next, which was, did that run into the end of the season affect your thinking when you came to make decisions?
I didn't know that was coming.
Season. We'll move on to the next one, which was, I know it was a big clear out at the end of the season. Several players who'd been with us sort of for the whole journey since you joined us. How difficult did you find it? Were there a few heart against head moments, or were you fairly clear as to what you wanted to do? With the turnaround of players, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, it's very clear on every single one. No, it wasn't. There was a couple of really tight calls, but I felt it was right, and I just felt it was right sometimes for the player as well as for myself and the club, and just I'm massive on team spirit. I'm massive on togetherness, and I'm massive that everyone is 100% in, and that is what has got us where we are today, and that is where we are with the success of what we've got. So yeah, there's been a fair bit of turnaround of players. I'd probably only say a couple, really. Enzio, through circumstances, he's done great for us the last couple of years, and I've got so much time and respect for him, having worked with him previously as well, and done so well for us and played numerous positions for us. But family, logistic, different reasons meant that it was mutually agreed that we probably couldn't work out to continue him playing for us, which was fine. I was absolutely gutted to lose Ali Smith.
I can't speak highly enough of him. An absolute top character, top player. Signed him from Altrincham 2 years ago, and he's been absolutely immense for us. And to then go and get another young lad coming through, signing for us, and we've done this several times now, moving on to bigger and better things, and getting them move up that football pyramid and earn his chance to play in League One. I'm gutted he's leaving, but I'm absolutely delighted for him, and I'll be following his career and wishing him all the best because he's been top draw. And then when you look at some of the others, you know, your Enzio and Ali's I've touched on, but Kobe Rowe's been outstanding for us since he came in, one of my first signings, and some of the stuff he's had to go through since joining for us. And the bad injury he sustained at Yeovil in that National League winning season was a really tough one for him to come back with. So again, we wish Kobe all the best, and all of them, to be fair. Donovan Wilson, you know, scoring that goal at Wembley for us, and some big goals in our National League season. So no, all the players that are departing, we thank them, however short or long they've been with us. We thank them for their efforts for the club. But yeah, I think Enzio, but I could see that one. But the main one and the biggest one I was gutted to lose was Ali Smith. But all the rest, you know, we thank everyone for their efforts and wish them well for their careers.
And of the players that we haven't mentioned so far in terms of those who've left, I think it's fair to say that we're expecting everyone else to re-sign or already be on terms for next season. So
everyone else who's with us last season who hasn't been mentioned is near enough dotted the I's, dotted T's. Most have, and they'll be back in the Sutton shirt next year. Added into obviously, which will come onto the future signings with the 3 we've added in already. But yeah, they're all pretty much done.
I know we shouldn't, you know, we steer clear of individuals particularly, but I think a lot of people might just like to know the latest on John Barden after his serious injury last season. Is he on board for next season and gaining fitness?
Yeah, of course, and he's as I've said in many interviews, a top player and a top person and a club legend for us. So we'll be supporting John all the way through this recovery period. He's recently had an operation at the end of the season to remove the pins out of his leg, and he's doing really well. We'll be back in pre-season, building up his weight bearing and training, and seeing how soon we can hopefully try and get him back out on the grass. But of course, he's someone who's signed a new contract for us next year, and we'll continue to support in his rehabilitation.
So we've dealt with the players who've gone, the players who are staying, players who are coming in. Announcements during the day on Friday of 3 players coming in: Steve Arnold, Omar Salumni, and Christian Ngessen. Talk us through the thinkings behind those signings and what you think they'll add to us this season.
Well, I've always said, and always won. The first thing I've said is the difference between the National League and the Football League is the transfer window. They're one of the biggest things, and you have to make sure you get your squad right. It's competitive, and it's got strength in depth, ready for when the window closes from the end of August until it reopens at the 1st of January. And then obviously from the end of January through to the rest of the season. There are 2 important windows there that you get it right. And I want a headache. I want to be sitting with my staff and in the days leading up to games, having real problems and selection headaches, and competition makes players better as well, knowing that they've got to be at the top of their game to make sure they keep their shirt. We've got that all over the pitch. Is what I'm trying to instill. Now you look at your goalkeeping situation. Brad House has got real potential for us. We'll be trying to get him out and get him some loan games to really help with his development. So Jack Rose has been superb for us and magnificent in goal. But I do want someone breathing down his neck and putting pressure on him. And to bring someone like Steve Arnold in, who I worked with briefly right at the start of his career, but Jace has worked with since then. A great character, and again, another aspect that I'm looking for is real characters and desire and good people coming into the dressing room to make sure that we get back to the spirit that we've had that's got so much success in recent seasons. And Steve certainly ticks that box, and he's 33, great experience, good age in his prime, and he'll be giving us real selection headaches with Jack there for that number 1, and then Omar Salumni coming in at centre half. With competing, Louis Johns missed obviously the back end of the season, but he's recovering really well and got every attention, every
intention of him starting pre-season training and being right back fit with us. And now I've got a really strong option there with someone who's been outstanding for Bromley in the last 2 seasons. And again, he's coming in at a great age in the prime of his career, and really, really strong acquisition for us in that heart of the defence. We've obviously, with Christian and Gesson as a player who's done so well, Dennis has done so well as manager of Ebbsfleet and producing players, where his recruitment's been excellent. And then he's gone and won the National South comfortably, and I'm sure they'll have a right good go at the National League next year. But he's someone I've kept an eye on over the last couple of seasons, and I just feel with his attributes, his age, I feel we could really be a big player for us, Christian, moving forward. And I'm really looking forward to working with him. So they're 3 really good and really key signings for us where we're sitting at the moment. And of course, I'm looking to bring quite a few more in.
Yes, I was just going to touch on that with sign 3, but obviously that's far from the end of the business. And you've got until the end of August. Is the feeling that things will happen sooner rather than later, or is it just a question of making sure that you get the right person rather than rushing to get somebody who might then be the wrong person?
Well, I'm still looking to. I'll tell you what I'm looking to bring in. I'm still looking to bring a right back, a centre midfield player, again for that strength in depth and quality there. With wide players, of course, I need 3 or 4 wide players really. Wingers I'll be looking for, and a couple of strikers. So I'm still, I think, about 8 signings away from being complete, done, happy. But I've got to the end of August to do that. Now, of course, I want as many of those 8 as possible in before we start pre-season training, which is a week Wednesday. But I know that's not going to be the case. I know we're not going to get all 8 in. But if I can slowly just keep ticking another couple off as each week goes past, I have a look at a couple in pre-season. Sometimes we have to wait for pre-season to get underway with some clubs. If we want to tap into the loan market, they tend to want to have their players with them at least for the first 10 days, 2 weeks. So then that opens the doors up there. So yeah, by no means done with the recruitment. Of course, got quite a few bits to do. My phone's not stopping. I'm off to another meeting as soon as I finish this one now. So it's full on, and it's all go at the moment. And hopefully I can drip a couple of more signings in over the next week or so, and then yeah, slowly tick them off for the areas that I'm looking to improve and strengthen, until I'm happy with the squad going into the start of the season.
And it's not just on the pitch, off the pitch. We've made an addition as well. Announced today, Junior Lewis joining as the coaching staff. What's the thinking behind that?
Again, with the freshness of the turnover of the players that I want to do within the squad, of a new mentality, a new drive, hunger, determination with the key existing players that we've got. You know, the ones who have been with from day one, Harry's and Easties, Goodies, Rob Milson's, Louis Johns. They've been me from day one, and they're key to what we are. Those players, of the success we've had. So the freshness and the turnaround of players that I think is very important at this stage of where we're at as a club, to then make sure that we keep improving off the pitch as well. And we actually, for the first time in my 4 years, just going to go on a little pre-season training camp for 4 nights. Not too far, not going abroad, nothing fancy, but just getting the players together, because I feel it'd be important to really home in on the team spirit, as well as the changes and tweaks that we're looking to do in what we're trying to do and how we're trying to play. So there's a real freshness there with the training camp and the players, and then just with the staff. Every year I've constantly improved and added to the staff. When you look at some of the Football League clubs and the staff members that they've got, and we're just adding that expertise and pairs of hands and eyes and knowledge into our group all over. Sean Miles and Ali coming in as head of medical, and Sean coming in as a strength and conditioner. Last year have been 2 great acquisitions to the staff, and this year just tweaking it for the first time, bringing the first team coaching with Junior Lewis, who I know well, but Jace has worked with, and Jace has known him since he was a kid, and we know exactly what Junior's going to come and bring to us. A real enthusiasm for the game, a great knowledge, great experience both as a player and as a coach stroke assistant, working under many clubs, top clubs and top managers. And he'll give us a real another dimension and voice, which again freshens things up on the training pitch as well. So I'm delighted to get Junior on board, and can't wait to start working with him. So that's pretty much where I am with the staff and the training camp. And and then we lead into pre-season and looking forward to getting back in with the players and working them hard for 5.5 weeks before the season starts.
And some promising friendlies coming up as well. Some what you'd call testing away games against good non-league sides, and a couple of home football league games as well. Millwall and Reading. Must be looking forward to particularly the two home ones against the higher football league opposition.
Yeah, we are. Some good games with Havant, as you say, Farnborough away and Woking away, some 3 really good tests away from home, and then 3 really good home games. Unfortunately, we couldn't get one with Peter as we were supposed to just for that last game, but I really thank Aldershot for stepping in last minute there to come and fill that fixture for us. But we added on to that with Millwall at home and Reading at home. We've got some really good different types of tests and some really good games in pre-season. And I'm looking forward to firstly getting in with the players and then obviously getting the pre-season games underway with.
Brilliant. Well, thanks a lot, Matt. I think we've covered everything there. Fairly exhaustive account of where we are at the moment. Doubtless we'll catch up with you over the next week and at pre-season training in a couple of weeks, in sort of over the next week or 10 days. Thanks for talking to us today.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Cheers, Tony.